Hi, this is Kathy He from John R. Wood, Christie's International. Today I'm with Miguel Diaz from Bankers Title, and we're going to give you some tips for buyers when you are about ready to make an offer and put that contract in on either your first-time buyers, single-family home for investment or retirement, whatever the reason you're here for in Southwest Florida. Miguel and I are here for you. And so I thought we'd have Miguel talk about title services and some tips for you before you actually start in this process. Miguel, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your services?
Absolutely. Thank you, Kathy, first of all, for having me. So my name is Miguel Diaz, and I am the Senior Account Executive for Bankers Title here in the Naples branch. We do have offices throughout the state of Florida, so not only Naples, we have an office in Miami, Tampa, Weston, and in the Florida Keys. So my job here at Bankers Title is to make sure, working with realtors such as Kathy, that first of all, we're in sync with each other. Communication between us is very key throughout the process of your home buying. And the first thing that we do whenever you do put a contract in is that we run what is called a title search for that particular property.
Right. And sometimes the first thing we ask a seller when you put in your contract is, do you have a copy of your title insurance? So that can be very helpful to you, right, Miguel?
Yeah, absolutely. So not only is it super helpful because, one, I get the first document of ownership right out the way. And the owner's title policy does give me proof of ownership. So that owner is indeed, he does have, the opportunity to freely sell his property to the new buyer.
And one of the tips that we often think about when we're putting an offer in is the owner's title policy can be one of the most expensive items for title insurance. So we often can negotiate who pays for that. And in Southwest Florida, we have two major counties, Lee County and Collier County. And in Collier County, the buyer picks the closing agent. And in Lee County, the seller actually picks the closing agent. And I want Miguel to tell you a little bit about the benefit of who picks the closing agent and if there is a benefit.
So one of the main benefits as far as the seller goes, to pick title is that, the seller typically handles that transaction. So he picks the person who wants to close, who wants to run the title search and does the lien search on that property.
And hopefully that's Bankers Title.
Yes. Hopefully that is us. So typically, when the seller does choose title, he typically pays for the owner's title policy, right? So therefore, the buyer does get an incentive right off the bat of a significant amount of money that the seller is going to be providing for that buyer. And that's a good way. Well, one, because you do, as a buyer, you do have your own closing costs as well as the seller. However, if the seller chooses the title company, Bankers Title, for example, the seller would pay the owner's new title policy.
And what are typically those costs?
So it ranges, right? It does range from $5.75 per thousand for up to a purchase price of $300,000, and then it's $5 flat per thousand for purchases up higher than $300,000 up to $3 million. So that is your cost per thousand for your owner's title policy.
So you can see those costs can vary depending upon the sales price of your home or investment property, condo, whatever it is you decide to purchase. So we can negotiate that up front and hopefully save you some money.
Absolutely.
So now we've got Miguel and his company hired to do the closing and the title search. What are some of the things that you look for in your title search, Miguel?
The first thing we look for, well, first of all, is that we confirm ownership. We make sure that the true owner of that property conveys out clear and marketable title for you, the new buyer. And that's extremely important because you don't want somebody to sign you over, a property that doesn't have the right to sell you that property. So the first thing we do is validate and certify that that property owner is the person on public records and it is on file. That's the first thing we do.
All right. And then do you do anything with permits? Is that part of your?
Yes. So what we do after we run the title search and verify all that information, what we do is that we run a lien search on that particular property, on the folio number and specifically, and therefore we look for any violations on the property, any expired permits, any clouds really that are affecting that property. We make sure to pick it up early and try to remedy it through with those two parties, which is the buyer and the seller.
So you've done an excellent job of describing now the title search and the lien search, and the closing date is coming up. And what happens if you've got something that is not resolved before closing date? Because my buyer, Miguel, is ready to close, right? So give us some ideas of what you can do to remedy that so we can still close.
Absolutely. So you as a buyer, if you are ready to close and for whatever reason something comes out on the lien search that, you know, typically it's not a big deal for you, right? Example, like a wooden fence or like an expired permit that can be fixed, we can close on the original closing date. So we don't need any time for delay. However, we do have to verify and we do have to make sure that all parties are known of whatever's going on that property by letting both buyers and sellers know, and therefore during that time you guys can close. However, what we do to protect our buyers if there's any fault on that property is that what we do is we do an escrow holdback. Mm-hmm. It can be $1,000, it can be $5,000. It's not an exact number. It's literally what can be, like what is said and what the terms are. And why we do that is to protect you as the buyer, to make sure that you can actually close on that property. And if for whatever reason it is not as easily as we thought, right? Because there's certain situations that are not that easy. We do have an escrow holdback to alleviate some of that cost that the buyer is going to incur.
That's great. Thank you for explaining all these tips. And I hope that you've enjoyed our conversation today. There's more to come on this from Miguel Diaz, Bankers Title, and Kathy Khee from John R. Wood and Christie's International. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Miguel. And how would they reach out to you?
So you can reach out to me directly. My cell phone number is 305-797-7404, or feel free to please send me an email. It's mdiaz, D-I-A-Z, @bankerst.com, or you can simply scan this.
Thanks again. And if you like what you heard today, please like our video and subscribe to my channel.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. Have a great day.